Welcome and hello. I'm Mohammed Ishaq and you're watching the English news program on SLN TV. Let's start with the main headlines. Minister of Foreign Affairs returns from a diplomatic trip to UAE and Britain. Minister of Presidency on a visit to Odweyne district. Migrants rescued at the Mediterranean coast. Somaliland's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation returned from a diplomatic trip to UAE and Britain. The minister was warmly welcomed by cabinet ministers at Egal International Airport.
The minister was warmly welcomed by members of the cabinet and the media at Egal International Airport and answered media questions on a press conference. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mohammed Bihi Yunus, who has returned from a work-related trip to UAE and Britain, announced that new talks between Somaliland and Somalia will be held in Turkey by the beginning of next week. He also spoke about his visit to Britain with the Minister of Commerce Dr. Mohammed Abdullahi Umar and told the media how they discussed a possible contract allowing Vitol, one of the largest crude oil companies worldwide, to identify Berbera's port as a main area to promote further oil. Vitol is also willing to take a part in the developmental process of Somaliland and pledged to provide assistance where possible. The minister also mentioned a meeting they had with an oil protection company. The Minister of Foreign Affairs in the press conference responded to the recent allegations made by the opposition party UID to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, elaborating on the achievements made by his ministry and said that these are the best times the ministry is accomplishing a lot in a short time. He also urged the opposition figures to focus on maintaining the peace and stability of Somaliland, speaking on the significance of peace and how important it is for the country's sovereignty as a nation that witnessed in the past the effects of a ravaging war. He eventually stressed on the importance of keeping people's union strong for the sake of our beloved country and to obtain our rightful international recognition.
Minister of Presidency Hirsi Haji Ali Hassan, heading a large delegation of high-ranking government officials, paid a visit to Odweyne district. The delegation was warmly welcomed by district officials, cultural leaders and residents. The objective of the minister's visit was to supervise the completion of the Odweyne road construction, which is due to finish soon. Minister of Presidency met with cultural leaders and other figures of Odweyne district. However, they pledged to amplify their efforts together and finish the construction of this road. Many figures spoke at the event and they elaborated on the significance of this road to travellers and most importantly to the people of Odweyne. Minister of Presidency Hirsi Haji Ali Hassan, speaking at the event, explained to the attendees the purpose of their visit and mentioned that the government of Somaliland took an important role in the construction of this road, pledging to further amplify their efforts to make sure this road is completed as soon as possible. He elaborated on the policy of the current government, which its main concern is the people, and that they are ready to assist anyone who is willing to make a change. Afterwards, Minister of Presidency and his delegation held a press conference for the media at the headquarters of the region's municipality. Members of the municipality spoke at the press conference and stated that the people of Odweyne handed over 35,000 USD to the governmental delegation as a contribution for the completion of this road. A group of organizations in Sanag region held a conference focusing on achievements made and development plans for this year amid increasing development projects taking place in the region.
Attendees at the conference representing several governmental and non-governmental organizations focused on achievements made and obstacles faced in a number of key areas, including capacity building in several key areas of major importance. Representatives of several organizations provided brief remarks at the podium and elaborated on the major steps taken to prompt productivity and promote the improvement of services provided for district residents. They reiterated the major importance of providing a direct contribution to the current development steps toward improvement of infrastructure. Major points of reference included the necessity of the organization's participation in the current road renovation efforts occurring at the road linking Arigaba with Burra.
You're still watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for the international headlines in detail. Italians work with Maltese Navy to save 5 boatloads of migrants and search for 3 others in the Mediterranean Sea.
Italian and Maltese rescuers have searched for 3 boatloads of migrants in the Mediterranean Sea after earlier rescuing more than 300 on stricken vessels. The naval forces rescued more than 120 migrants on board 4 other boats struggling in rough seas in just 1 hour late on Thursday. As the immigration crisis that killed hundreds in shipwrecks in 2013 showed no signs of letting up in the new year. Hours earlier, they rescued 223 mostly African migrants from one overcrowded 10-meter boat near Chile. The first boat had been sighted by a Navy helicopter on Wednesday night as it ran into difficulty off the southern island of Lampedusa. The fiberglass vessel was backed to overflowing as it tried to make the crossing of the Mediterranean waters near Lampedusa, south of Sicily. The migrants were transferred onto the Navy ship Zefiro on Thursday morning, and they were to be taken to a port near Syracuse on Sicily's eastern coast. On board were men and women from Eritrea, Nigeria, Somalia, Zambia, and Mali, as well as from Pakistan. Sea arrivals to Italy from Northern Africa more than tripled in 2013, fueled by refugees from Syria's civil war and political strife in the Horn of Africa. Figures from Italian Interior Ministry show about 25,000 migrants arrived by boat in 2013, 10,000 of them fleeing conflict in Syria. In October, 366 Eritreans drowned in a shipwreck near the shore of the Italian island of Lampedusa.
At least 3 people were killed when security forces opened fire on striking Cambodian government workers in the capital.
At least 3 Cambodians have been killed when police opened fire on government workers on strike, as a nationwide wave of protests backed by the main opposition party presses on in demand for wages to be doubled. An Associated Press photographer and human rights workers said police fired AK-47 rifles on Friday after several hundred workers blocking the road south of the capital Phnom Penh began burning tires and throwing objects at them. Several wounded workers could be seen after the shots were fired. Phnom Penh Deputy Police Commissioner Juan Narin told AFP news agents that 3 people had been killed and several others wounded in the capital. About 500,000 Cambodians are employed in the garment industry, the country's biggest export earner, within $5 billion a year to the economy. The government has offered $100 as a minimum monthly wage, short of a $160 wage pledge by the opposition Cambodian National Rescue Party. The clashes came a day after Cambodian soldiers forcibly cooled a separate demonstrations by striking workers, marking a violent turning point after 2 weeks of relatively peace strikes. Marches and demonstrations of unprecedented scale in Cambodia, security forces which have a reputation for zero tolerance have so far exercised restraint. The violence comes at a time of political stress, as the opposition Cambodian National Rescue Party has protested daily for Prime Minister Hun Sen to step down and call for new elections. Hun Sen won elections last July that extended his 28th year rule in the poor Southeast Asian nation. The protesters, led by opposition head Sam Rainsy, accused him of rigging the vote. Hun Sen has rejected their demand. Although the wage and election issues are not directly linked, Cambodia's opposition has had long and close ties with the country's labor movement.
Thank you very much for being with us. You can join us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, take care and goodbye.